Hang in there. That's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome back to the Round 3 Open Championship Daily Journal. A little recap here on The Smylie Show with Smylie Kaufman, who is fresh out of the steam room after a freezer of a day out there on the course. I mean, what a wild, we talked the last couple of days about the differences in the waves, and it was no better illustrated than today. When you're watching some of the guys earlier in the morning, Siwoo Kim acing the 17th in pretty perfect weather with a long iron in his hand, and then you get the final group, and Shane Lowry's hitting driver. I mean, just true insanity.
He hit driver on 17?
He hit driver on 17,
I was wondering
Daniel
if you could have hit driver. Yeah.
The shot of the day was Scotty's 3-wood to a foot for birdie. He does amazing things all the time, but that was maybe it. So here's where I want to start is the group you had, which I'm calling the How Do You Do Fellow Kids group, as they were both rocking the backwards hats all day long, Billy Horschel and Justin Rose. And that's not a critique. I love old dads, old guys rocking backwards hat. I'm an old guy that rocks backwards hat. So this was very much enjoyable to see them doing this all day long. But I mean, you had probably the performance of the day considering the weather, Smylie, and Billy Horschel. And so many places we could go. His ability to scramble on the back nine that was playing incredibly tough in those kind of, windy, wet conditions. It seems like he did a little bit of everything good today. What was the recipe for Billy Horschel today that got him to where he is, which is leading the Open Championship heading into Sunday?
Oh, man. Is he leading? He's leading. Wow.
He's leading 4 under. Yeah, because
I'm just seeing this now.
You came off the course. Daniel Brown doubled 18 after.
And was he smoking a heater on 18 is what I heard?
This was so good. This was such a perfect way to close this day of the Open Championship of all the wildness, because he's heading up 18 after hitting his tee shot on the edge of a pot bunker where he's going to have some insane either left-handed shot or in the bunker sawed-off right-handed shot. And what's he do to prep for that? He rips a heater, and then he puts the heater out and goes over to the fence and takes a selfie with a bunch of guys watching who are following him around that day. So Daniel Brown, no matter what happens to Dan Brown tomorrow, he is certifiably a man of the people. That much is just locked in. But yeah, he punched it out. Then he hits his third in a greenside bunker on the left, and the only place he can go out there is kind of backwards. Ends up making a double there. And then Shane Lowry, I don't know if you saw his tee shot. He goes way right, and then he hit his approach shot into the bleachers.
Yeah, I saw that. I was driving right past him when that happened.
Got a nice drop, but just didn't hit a very good wedge in there and makes a 5. So that was the story of that group. But yeah, Billy Horschel, your guy, the leader after 3 rounds at Troon.
Unreal, man. Let's start with Billy, the leader. Golly, he played phenomenal today. The golf course on the front was gettable today. 6 of the first 7 holes were playing under par. The first 2 days, there was only 2 holes playing under par. So there was opportunities to hit iron off the tee, wedge in your hand. They were hiding some pins, but still you could make some birdies with 2 par 5s and wedges if you're able to sneak one on 1, 2, or 3. And Billy was flawless, hit every fairway, every green on the front, really conservative game plan, really understood the golf course and how it was playing that day. Didn't ever play overly aggressive, but I wouldn't call his game plan conservative either. He just really had a great feel for what the wind conditions were that day and what was being given to him. So took advantage on the front 9, shooting 4 under on the front, just a great start. And then 10 hits a loose iron shot. And this is where the Justin Rose, Billy Horschel up and down marathon around the green started, was on 10. Like, it was insane. Every single hole, they got it up and down. The only one that didn't get up and down for Billy on the back was on 11, but that was from like 80 yards. So I don't even know if you count that. And Justin Rose didn't get up and down from 17 he hit a ridiculously good bunker shot, but just honestly got a bad kick, missed the putt. And then honestly, Billy at 18 was a little surprising that he putted that. I thought the up and down was going to be really difficult because of where the ball, I thought it was going to be behind the bunker based on where I was in the fairway. It kind of scooted past, and I didn't think he took full advantage of a good break of that ball being past the bunker and being able to kind of manage that and not getting that up and down was a surprise. But as far as just conditions go today, hardest golf course, especially the back nine I've probably ever seen. It was absurd. I mean, you guys,
and that's even in comparison to the last 2 days, you'd say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I would give me that front nine in those conditions yesterday over, give me the front nine conditions yesterday over what these guys faced on the last 6 holes on the back.
What was here is what is
not the
boggling
last
my
6,
mind.
I guess 10 and 11 too.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's what's boggling my mind about that, right? Is your boy, fellow RLX guy, Billy Ho, out there playing in short sleeves, yet you're hitting the steam room before the pod because you're so frigid. Like, was it cold? Like, I don't. How is he wearing what he was wearing relative to everybody else?
Grit. He's dude's gritty as hell.
Intestinal fortitude.
Some guys don't like swinging in rain gear. He was putting it on and taking it on, or putting it on when he hit. When he was walking to his golf ball and taking off when he hit shots. It wasn't bad enough, I guess, to where that was giving him issues. Golly, the fist pump from Billy on a hole, and then Justin Rose was just grinding his ass off, just making par after par on the back nine. I think he had at one point 11 straight pars and then bogeyed the 17th hole, but then a gritty up and down at 18. The whole day was, I think, said best by Billy after the round. Just said today was just about who wanted it the most, and especially the back nine. And you either were going to grind your off to the finish, or you weren't. And Billy Horschel was, he the way he played the front nine, hit it the way he hit it, and then just the back nine was going to be all about getting it up and down. So he just answered every test today.
On the topic of weather, I'm looking at the leaderboard now, right? And you're tempted to see guys like Tristan Lawrence or Sam Burns, or even a Russell Henley who posted 2 6-unders and a 5-under respectively, and say, man, I wonder what the weather's going to be like tomorrow morning. And should I be going down to the 2-over category and picking some names I like there that could make a move? But I'm looking at the weather report right now. And while I guess in the morning it looks a little bit similar to what we saw this morning, where the wind's a little bit down, there's definitely more wind in the forecast tomorrow than there was early morning today. Now, there's no real rain in the forecast, but do you have any sort of read from people talking internally or kind of projecting what the weather's going to be like tomorrow as to whether we're going to see some early scores in the morning wave? Or are we expecting it to be a test for the entire field tomorrow?
I honestly have not yet seen the forecast. I just knew that we're not expected to get rain. So yeah. I need to probably do a little homework on that here. Maybe I can do some live checking here to see what I see on my end. But this day today, it's been such a unique championship because I feel like the draw has totally influenced where these guys are at the top. If you were a person that was kind of in that range around 2-3 over, that was the sweet spot today because you were close enough to the lead, with these guys coming back, going out like Sam Burns, Tristan Lawrence, like they did not have to play in windy conditions. It was yes, it started raining for him maybe on the back nine, but the rain wasn't an issue. It's just the wind, and the wind really didn't get starting to blow today until it was the 10th and 11th hole. So for the second to last group, that would have been, I would say they teed off at 3:35, so they would have been coming through around like 6:15. So Sam Burns, he teed off at 1:10. So you really only had to play maybe a hole or two in what I called the most challenging conditions of the day. So Tristan Lawrence in that same vein, and maybe those two guys as well were in the late early draw, and then the perfect sweet spot in this part of the draw too. So maybe Russell Henley there as well. But I know Justin Rose has been every bad draw to this point. So the fact that he's 3 under and still hanging in there is so impressive. He's had the worst draw of anybody of the week. And Xander Schauffele and Scotty Scheffler to me, Charlie, those are the two guys that seemingly haven't done anything yet in this tournament to where you feel like, oh, they're going to win. But they haven't gone anywhere. Xander Schauffele's 1 shot back and Scotty Scheffler's 2 shots back. And if you think that they're not going to be involved tomorrow, I mean, something I feel like went terribly wrong.
Let me read to you on that note a list of Data Golf's predicting the percentage chance that this player has to win. And I'm going to start with the 5th best chance to win and go up to the first. Please. Okay, start with number 5.
Number 5, I'm going to go with. Actually, it's probably easier for me to start at the top because
yeah, sure.
All right,
go for it.
Best chance to win, Xander Schauffele.
That is correct. Xander Schauffele at 3 under par has a 21.9% chance to win according to Data Golf. Who do you think is second?
I'm going to say it's going to be really close between Billy Horschel and Scotty Scheffler. I'm going to go with Billy and then Scotty.
That is incorrect. It is Scotty.
Wow.
Who is
Scotty than Billy?
2 shots off the lead. He's a 16.1% chance to win. Billy is third with a 13.8% chance to win. And do you want to take a flyer guess on 4 or 5?
Give me 4 or 5. It's going to be give me Sam Burns and Justin Rose.
That's interesting because it is not Sam Burns and Justin Rose. Justin Rose actually has the 7th best chance to win according to Data Golf. 4, it's Russell Henley, 11.6.
Oh, my bad. I just skipped over him. That's
Yeah, and 5 is Sam Burns at 10.2. Now, not that or 10.3 rather. Not that necessarily means anything, but I mean that is kind of what the data is saying. It has the best possible chance. So to kind of extend that to a discussion, I mean, Scotty and Xander just lurking right there. And it's kind of amazing how it happened really just the last 2 holes of the day where, you have Billy Horschel who comes into the 18th at 5 under par, makes bogey there and drops to 4 under par, of course. And then you have Dan Brown coming in at 5 under par and doubling to drop to 3 under par. So these guys who look like they could have been a long ways off, now it's 2 shots for Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he does that in his sleep. And we saw him do it the Players earlier this year. There's been a lot of situations where you leave this guy hanging around and you're going to pay for it in a big way. And same with Xander. I mean,
Scotty putted bad today, huh?
Yeah. Let me flip over here to that section. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Lost 3 strokes game putting. And another guy.
-3, dude. There's 79. He was 79th and there was 80 dudes. So one guy putted worse than him. That's Darren Fickhart, but he is last. So.
Yeah, it was. I mean, of the parts of the broadcast I saw where Scotty was putting, I think he had a tough little lip out on one hole. I mean, really and truly, I think the one thing that stood out to me was that shot he hit at 17, which was phenomenal. That 3-wood, scrapes it even par around to 71. Another guy with a tough day on the greens, Shane Lowry, negative 2.33 strokes game putting, shoots at 77 a day. What do you make of Shane's day? Because 77, obviously in a vacuum, not a great score. But then you look at it relative to the field, and this is a guy who, had an off day today. But even I was talking to Jackson before the show about this. The conditions changing the way they did is so kind of cruel to a guy like Shane Lowry because we talked on the lead up where this guy's one of the best long iron players out there right now, right? Yeah. You're watching Siwoo Kim ace the 17th with a long iron in his hand earlier in the day. And then Shane comes around and plays it in conditions where he is hitting a driver on 17. And so it's like it's such a razor thin edge for a guy like that, where all the things he's good at in a heartbeat can become challenges. And all of a sudden you're hanging off for dear life and you're making a bunch of bogeys on the back in the way he did. So, I mean, Shane, could go out there tomorrow, right, and post a great score and be in the hunt, but a tough draw for Shane today.
Yeah, definitely so. And the back nine that he had 5 bogeys. 18 was ridiculously hard. It was basically felt like a par 5. 15 was basically a par 5. 14, that was probably not the best bogey. I feel like that was one where you could have probably snuck a par in. But 12, that hole was a good wind conditions, but still 12 has been ridiculous all week. And 11, if you make bogey there, it feels like you're winning, honestly, because how hard this hole is. The biggest mistake today for me from Shane Lowry was on 8. It seemed like him and Daniel Brown, from listening, I didn't get to see the shots, but it sounded like they both hit it left in the Kaufman bunker. Is that correct?
On which hole now?
8.
On 8, yes, they both hit the ball left in the Kaufman bunker, and Shane had to mark his ball. Daniel Brown went out sideways, actually hit a pretty great shot, all things considered, and got to stop. Shane went off he tried to hold it and went off the back of the green into kind of that wire grass behind the green, and then makes double from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the biggest mistake today, because I was on 8. As far as the conditions went, they were, hardly anything. I think if you want to say, I think Shane, remembering from the broadcast, I believe he felt like he hit a good shot. And I think I remember somebody saying, I think he was surprised that there was a little bit more right to left in it. And maybe that's when the wind started to get going a little bit, more out of the northwest, and it kind of progressively went. And unfortunately for him, at the 8th, he just didn't maybe catch it at the perfect time, where the group before, I felt like, it wasn't playing that hard. I say that relatively, right? 8 is still really hard, but it wasn't playing crazy hard like it was yesterday.
The one, and apologies, I was looking over to check his stats here. The one that just blew my mind was, the bogey he makes on 15, where it is a par 4 playing 502 yards to get today. But both he and Daniel Brown on a par 4 hit a driver off the deck into the screen, and he ended up 30 yards short, even after hitting driver there. I mean, truly insane conditions today for these guys. And I mean, I think what's cool about this is, even all that having happened, I mean, let me just read you some of the names. I'll just read you the top 10 or so right here. I mean, you got in the mix tomorrow: Billy Horschel, Xander Schauffele, Russell Henley, Sam Burns, Tristan Lawrence, Justin Rose, Daniel Brown, Scotty Scheffler, Shane Lowry, Adam Scott, Justin Thomas. I mean, we are shaping up for a heck of a Sunday at Troon, and it's really just going to be who's kind of what Billy Horschel said. Who's going to be up for it tomorrow? Who do you like tomorrow? Who do you think is hoisting the Claret Jug at the end of this?
It's so hard to say, because it's all going to be about who can put the ball in the fairway on the front 9. If you put the ball in the fairway on the front 9, you can go out and shoot, a 3-4 under par like we saw with Billy Horschel today. I feel that if you're even or over par on the front 9, you're not going to win this championship. You got to go out and at least shoot 2 under it at minimum. I don't see anybody having a heroic back 9 if the conditions are, still out of the northwest tomorrow like we had today. The back 9, it's going to be so difficult to find a birdie, even if it's half or a quarter of the wind gust that we were feeling. It's just so hard to find one on the back 9.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun, all of us tomorrow, tuning in to see what direction the wind's going. If all of a sudden rain crops up, if it's cold, if it's warm, all stuff that's going to be thrilling, a really fun watch on Sunday at the Open Championship. So we're looking forward to taking it all in tomorrow with you on the broadcast. And then tomorrow, we will not have a recap right after competition like we had the last couple of days. We're going to do this, I think, with you in Ireland. Is that correct?
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see if the Wi-Fi works and everything. I mean, it's always a new place, new city, figuring out what's going on. We've got a golf trip coming up, and going to try to get this recap done tomorrow morning in Ireland. So hopefully all that works out.
Yeah, that's a tease just as much for you, the audience, as it is for Smylie and I. We're gonna figure it out. So we hope you enjoyed this journal today. We look forward to recapping it all once it's done, and we have a new winner of the Open Championship. We appreciate you watching and listening, and we will talk to you very soon.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool, and
all of our lovely fans and subscribers. But make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too. So please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the